A lot of people have flat feet, and we often think that's just because, we genetically inherited this trait, but that's often not the case. We were put in shoes since the time before we could walk, and a lot of the times we don't know how to engage the feet properly and the muscles in the feet and ankle, so this causes the navicular drop that is associated with flat-footedness. A source of information that you can look at if you want to look at how to engage kind of the hips and to encourage arches in the feet and movement and squat and stuff would be Kelly Starrett and his book Supple Leopard and Mobility WOD on YouTube. All of that's good information. But I also was presented with some information from my dance instructor on how to engage the muscles of the feet and how to strengthen them and train them. So I wanted to share some of that information with you in the hopes that it would be helpful, and some of it you can just kind of throw in the end of your training in order to strengthen your feet, because it's often the weakest part of most of our bodies because we're in running shoes all the time or something similar.
So the first technique I use is isolating my 4 little toes and my 1 big toe and pressing one into the air and then pressing the other 4 into the ground and doing the opposite. It just helps strengthen the muscles at the bottom of the feet. I then do a foot drag, which is kind of dragging my toes along the ground, trying to create an arch along the foot by squeezing the muscles of the palm of the foot or the sole of the foot. And with this, I don't want to crunch my toes underneath as much as I want to keep them elongated. If you watch Lisa Marie's video, she does this with a towel, which is also good, and all her information as well on her channel is excellent. I'll just show a few angles here so you can kind of get the idea of what the foot should look like. Just notice how I don't curl the toes underneath. So after this, I take a Pilates band, I sit on one end and grab the other end and provide resistance, and I extend my foot first at the ankle and then at the toes, making sure I kind of exaggerate each portion of that. I do several repetitions, generally 30 to 20, or I do it for time. You want to do this stopping before your feet start cramping up. I usually do a couple point stretches as well afterwards. This is just more for the gymnastics and dance side of things. Doesn't necessarily help with the arches, but it's also good flexibility to have, so you can incorporate this as well. This is one option with the Pilates band. I also use here the weight plate, kind of just setting it on my feet, and you can do this underneath a couch as well, just any sort of weighted resistance. And another option is here, just using the floor, stretching out the tops of your ankles, and just using your knee kind of as a little added resistance to it.
I hope some of that information was useful. It helps me out a little bit. It's still a work in progress, obviously. I don't have great pointed feet or anything like that, but it's something I've just recently incorporated into my movement practice, and I thought it would also help some of you, and it also gives an aesthetic appeal to some of the movements that you do in gymnastics or dance and ballet and whatnot. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you find any of this information useful. I'm going to be trying to put up a video every week now, and just comment, like, and subscribe, and share with me any ideas that you have or any questions that you have, and I'll try to address them if I know any information on it or can find anything that's helpful. Thank you.